Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial here on IT.Tutorials. I am Josef Botnar. I'm continuing the series of C# lectures which are part of C# complete course from beginner to advanced here on IT.Tutorials. This lecture has the goal to talk about .NET Command-Line interface, abbreviated CLI. So let's dive in. What is .NET CLI? A console application in C#.NET runs in a Windows command prompt. Visual Studio provides a interactive development environment, abbreviated IDE, which contains features like editor, file management, syntax check, and many other features. Instead of it, Microsoft provides a tool called .NET Command-Line Interface, abbreviated CLI. .NET Command-Line Interface, abbreviated CLI, is a cross-platform tool used to create, build, run, and publish net applications, and also to restore packages. .NET Command Line Interface, or abbreviated CLI, is installed as part of Visual Studio. So, .NET CLI is included with .NET SDK. You can download .NET SDK from this link, as you can see on the screen. You can get this link if you go to Google and type download .NET SDK, enter. Usually will come up as a first link, click on it, and this will take you on this web page, which actually is the Microsoft official web page where you can download from .NET 7.0 or .NET 6.0. And from here you can download .NET SDK, either for .NET 7.0 or .NET 6.0. Go on this arrow and download the version which your processor is based on, either 64, either 86, or ARM64. Okay, so we can use CLI together with Notepad. CLI is a faster tool than Visual Studio. We can run the commands using CLI, and we can code using Notepad. Let's see how we can use together CLI and Notepad. To get CLI, either you can use the Cortana from Windows, which is the fastest way to get either a Windows PowerShell or Windows command prompt. If you want to use a command prompt, you just type CMD, and here you go. It comes up here. Click on it, and the command prompt is launched. The same way you can get Windows PowerShell, and it comes up here, and click on it, and Windows PowerShell will be launched. You can launch Windows PowerShell or the Windows command prompt from Start menu. Just click on the Start button, and here click on a letter, and after click on the W letter, and here, either here in Windows PowerShell, you can launch Windows PowerShell, and here where is this Windows system folder. From here you can launch a command prompt. So use any of them. So any of them has a CLI tool you can use to use a CLI. I'm gonna to use Windows PowerShell. Yeah, so I'm gonna to launch Windows PowerShell. The root directory used implicitly by Windows PowerShell is the C root directory. Now my cursor is located actually in this folder, Joseph, yeah, which is placed inside this root directory C and this folder user. So I want to change the root directory. Therefore, I'm going to type D and color. This D actually is the another root directory, which is on my computer. Enter, and as you can see, the root directory was changed from C to D. I'm gonna to launch File Explorer, yeah, and as you can see, I've got these two root directories, C and D. And now the cursor is located inside this root directory D. Okay. The next is to create a folder inside this D root directory where I'm going to place my C# project. Therefore, I'm going to use this command mkdir followed by the name of the folder. So I'm going to call the folder CLI demo application. Enter. As you can see, the folder was created. Now let's see here inside this root directory. So this is the folder which was created a few seconds ago, CLI demo application. Let's open this folder with click using the mouse. Yeah. And now I'm going to launch Notepad, typing here in this Windows PowerShell, Notepad, enter. As you can see, Notepad was released. Yeah, after I typed this command Notepad. Here I'm going to write the following statement. System, which is a namespace, console, which is a class, and the method writeLine, which is part of this class console, parentheses and semicolon. Inside parentheses with double quotes, inside the double quotes, I'm going to write this text. My first command-line application. Go on File, Save As, and save the file inside the folder which was created, CLI demo application. I'm gonna to call this file program, and I'm gonna to use dot and the extension used to save a C# file, which is CS. Click on save. Here you go. So as you can see, here inside this folder, let's resize Notepad. This file, program.cs, was saved. Okay. Now, let's move the cursor inside this folder, CLI demo application, using this command, cd, and the name of the folder where I want to place the cursor, CLI demo application. Enter. As you can see, now we are inside this folder, CLI demo application. I launch again Notepad, and I'm going to create another file. Click on New, and here I've got this file, and I'm going to select copy and paste the content of this file inside this file, yeah, which actually is the code lines, the standard lines of code for a C# project file. Yeah, so here we have the SDK, the output type. That means the compiler will compile the project file to a executable file, and framework targeted, which in this case is net 7.0. Again, actually, this is a standard C# project file. I'm gonna go on File, Save As, and I'm gonna to save this file, actually with the same name as the project the file is in, CLI demo application, and I'm going to use the extension used to save the C# project, which is CSPROJ. Click on Save, and here you go. The C# project file was saved, as you can see. Now I can close this. Once inside this folder I've got the C# project file, I can run this project using .NET command and run command. Enter. For the first time is going a bit slower because .NET downloading and installing some certificate. Yeah, here is the output, my first command line application. Yeah, and here as you can see was added two subfolders, the OBJ folder, which contains these configuration files, and the debug subfolder, yeah, and another folder is the bin folder, yeah. Now I can go, I can open again this program.cs file with Notepad, and I can code. I can write code here. Just to do a demonstration, let's copy and paste, and let's change here inside this method the text. It could be like hello command line application, and let's put in parentheses the abbreviation CLI. Let's save it. Let's run it again. Let's type these commands, these CLI commands. These now are CLI commands. .NET run, in order to run a C# project. Here you go. As you can see, now the output contains the new line what I wrote a few seconds ago in Notepad. Yeah, hello command-line application, and the abbreviation in parentheses CLI. So as you can see, we can use these two tools, the CLI and the Notepad, to write C# projects. The advantage of CLI is that CLI is faster than Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code, and also is very fast to code in Notepad. Probably you wonder how this file was compiled, because we don't have the main method, the main entry point, which is the void main method. The C# compiler will provide a entry point if you didn't provide one. So don't worry about that, yeah? Okay, here in this subfolder, this bin subfolder, we actually the compiler converted the C# code to this DLL file, which is a intermediate language file or a assembly file. If some of you watch my previous tutorial, knows how the C# code is running on .NET. So the compiler will compile the C# source code to intermediate language. So this is the file which contains the intermediate language, CLI demo application.dll. We can see what is inside this file using a editor. To launch the ILDASM editor, we have to use another tool. So I'm going to give a click on this start button, and I'm going to go where is Visual Studio, and here we have this. You can use either of them, either developer command prompt for Visual Studio or developer PowerShell for Visual Studio. I'm going to use the PowerShell, yeah? Here you go. Please type ILDASM. Actually, this is the intermediate language deassembler, yeah? So it's the editor for intermediate language deassembler. Enter. The editor is launched, as you can see. Go on File, Open, and now I'm going to open this DLL file to see what is inside. Okay, so this is my folder, and here is my file, my intermediate language file, which is this CLI demo application.dll. Select it and click on Open. Click on Program, click on Void Main Method, and here you go. So this is the content of this file, which is the intermediate language file, CLI demo application.dll. It's a bit scary. Actually, this is the intermediate language code, which is sort of assembly code. Here is the entry point. This is the string used in my source code. Yeah. So here is called the void main method. Okay, this is another string used in my C# source code, and here again is called now actually this void method together with this statement system.console and the write line method, and here is the end of main void method. Yeah, so in this way looks a intermediate language code, which actually is the file before the file is loaded by CLR and will be converted to native code machine file, which is the only language understood by processor, the code machine, which contains only 0 and 1. Okay, so let's move on. That was the work creating a C# project using Notepad and CLI tools. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to the root directory using this command cd space and 2 dots, enter. And this will move my cursor with 1 level up. Yeah, and now the cursor is inside this root directory D, yeah, which is this directory here, D. Now let's type CLS, which will clear the screen. Let's talk now just about CLI, purely CLI. First of all, let's see if the .NET SDK is installed in my computer. With other words, if you want to check if you have .NET SDK installed in your computer, you have to use this command, this CLI command, .NET, enter. If you receive the same message, these two usages, .NET options and .NET Path to application, that means you have installed .NET SDK. So you don't need to worry. That means you have installed .NET SDK. If you want to know more, for example, if you want to know which versions of SDK is installed in your computer, you can use this command, .NET space 2 dashes list dash SDKs, enter. As you can see, this command will list the versions of SDK installed in your computer. In my computer is installed .NET SDK 5.0 and .NET SDK 7.0. If you want to know the runtimes, then you have to type .NET list dash runtimes, enter. And here you have all the runtimes installed in your computer. In my computer, I've got ASP.NET Core from these versions, 3.1, 5.0, 6.0, 7.0. And also I've got Windows Desktop 3.1, 5.0, 6.0, 7.0. But here is a very good options, this H, this dash H. Using this option, I can find a lot of information about CLI commands. So I'm going to type .NET space dash H, enter. And here you go. So here I can see the SDK commands used to build a .NET project, to create a .NET project or file, to publish a .NET project for the deployment, also to modify Visual Studio, to modify your solution files, to run a .NET project, and so on. But there is another CLI command. If I want to know more about CLI commands, I'm going to type .NET new dash H, enter. And here I see that if I use this command list, I can find out all the templates, the list of templates which can be created using CLI tool. So therefore, I'm going to type .NET new dash H. Sorry, new list, in order to find out all the templates which I can create using CLI commands. By the way, this is the structure of so let's clear this the screen first, because it's quite crowded, this screen. So I'm going to type CLS. Okay, and again I'm going to type .NET new list. So this is the structure of CLI command. Always we are going to have inside, or will be part of CLI command, .NET. .NET is called driver, and the driver is followed by commands or options. Here we have just commands, new and list. For example, before I use an option was dash and H, so that is an option. So this is a structure of CLI command. Now let's check the list of templates which we can use to create C# projects. Okay, using CLI tool. Here you go. It's quite big, this list. As you can see, we can create using CLI .NET MAUI app. We can create ASP.NET Core, Blazor, class library, console app, Razor page, Windows form app, WPF, which is Windows presentation form application, and unit test project. So now we know the templates we can create using CLI. So I'm gonna to create a new console application, because as this list appeared, we can create console applications using CLI. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, using C#, F#, and Visual Basic. If we don't mention the language implicitly, by default, CLI will create a C# project. So when you create C# projects, you don't need to mention the language. Just if you want to create a project in F# or VB, Visual Basic. Okay, so let's create a console application using CLI. Therefore, I'm going to create another folder using the same command, mkdir. And let's call this folder, so I had before this CLI demo application, and now I'm going to name it CLI application demo. Here you go, the project was created. Yeah, here is our folder, where inside where I'm going to create the console application. Now, in order to create a console application, I have to move to this folder, CLI application demo. Therefore, I typed cd and the name of folder where I want to move to, CLI application demo. Enter, and now we are inside CLI application demo folder. First, I'm going to create the solution file, because I want the solution file to be in a separate folder than the C# project file. Therefore, I'm going to type .NET new sln. Now, I can write a name for this solution file, which could be different than the name of the folder where it is in, but I'm going to leave it like that. That means if I don't give a name, the solution file will take the name of the folder it is in. Yeah, so enter. The solution file was created successfully, as you can see here inside the folder, and carry the same name as the folder CLI application demo. The next step is to create the project file. Therefore, I'm going to type .NET new console, because it's going to be a console application, -o, because I'm going to call it differently than the solution file and the folder file name. Yeah, I could leave it like that, and the console application will receive the same name as the folder is in it. But I don't want that. I want to create another folder and the project to be inside that folder, and the name of the name of the project file and the folder to be different than the folder and the solution file created before. Okay, so I'm going to name it CLI demo app. Enter. Here you go. So this created this folder, CLI demo app. Inside the folder we have, as you can see, this time was created by CLI tool automatically the program file, which is the source code, which is C# source code, the project file, and this file subfolder of OBG, which contains some configuration files. Yeah, I can open this file using Notepad just to have a look inside. You can see it's just this method. It's the same file, it's the same template as Visual Studio is creating when you create a C# project. Yeah, is this right line method with this message hello world, and was created automatically by CLI tool. And we have here the project as well, the project file, and this is actually a standard project file content. We have here, as you can see, .NET 7.0, and nullable type is enabled. Okay, I'm going to release Visual Studio. Yeah, so I'm going to open this project. Just I had a look to see if the project or the solution file appears here. It doesn't appear, so I go here on open a project or solution, click on it. Yeah, let's go inside our folder, and let's release the solution file. Open the solution file here in Visual Studio. Open Solution Explorer. As you can see here, we have just a solution file. Here in parentheses we have 0 projects, because the solution file can't see the project file. We don't, why the solution file can't see the project file? Because we don't have any reference here, as you can see, inside the solution file to the project file. Yeah, to do so we have to use this command. Let me to clear this screen again, and we have to use .NET sln add, and we have to add to solution file the project file. The project file is this CLI demo app. Yeah, CLI demo app. Enter. Here you go. The project was added to the solution. Yeah. Now, if I open this again, you can see here the reference to CLI demo project. So now, actually, the solution can see the project because there is a reference to the project. Okay. Let's click on it here on Visual Studio. This message will appear. Yeah, in order to see the project, and click on Reload. This will reload the solution file in Visual Studio. And here you go. You can see now in Visual Studio the project file, which is this CLI demo app. If you go here in dependencies, expand this, and here is the program file and the project file. So this was possible because we added this reference to this project CLI demo in this solution. Yeah. Okay. What we can do further? Let's add a new project using CLI tool. Yeah. How we can do this? Type .NET new and type the kind or the type of project, the type of new project you want to add to this solution. I want to add a project, a class library project. So I'm going to type the template class lib, and I want to name it, to give a name. So it could be CLI class lib. Enter. The template class library was created successfully. We can see that here inside this folder. This is the new project created using CLI, and the name of project is CLI class lib. Here inside this folder we have the project file. Yeah, we can open it, and we have the same standard C# project content. Yeah, okay. So now we have two projects inside this solution, CLI demo app and CLI class lib. Click on solution file here in Visual Studio, and this time nothing is reloaded. Why? Because this solution file, if I open it, you can see has the reference only to this project, CLI demo app project. The solution file doesn't have reference to this project, CLI class lib. That's why the solution file can't see this project and doesn't appear here in Visual Studio because there is no reference from solution file to this project, CLI class lib. So let's change this, and I'm gonna to type .NET sln add CLI class lib. Enter. As you can see, the project was added to solution successfully. Now let's check the solution file. Here you go. The another project, namely CLI class lib, was added. Now if I go again here in Visual Studio, you can see again this message will be showed up. Press this button reload, go on Solution Explorer, and now you can see that this project is visible here in Visual Studio CLI class lib, because now the solution file has a reference to this project. Maybe you notice we can work faster from CLI tools, yeah, than here in Visual Studio. Okay. Also, we don't have a reference. We don't have a relationship between these two projects. In order to make a reference from CLI demo app project to CLI class lib, I have to be inside this folder, CLI demo app. Therefore, I'm going to type cd and I name the folder where I need to locate the cursor, CLI demo app. Here we go. So now the cursor is inside this folder. Now I'm going to add the reference from this project to CLI class lib project. Yeah. Therefore, I'm going to type .NET add reference space double dots backslash the name of the folder where is actually the file project, CLI class lib backslash the name of the project file, CLI class, which is inside this folder, yeah, lib, and the extension. Okay, enter. And as you can see, the reference was added to the project, to this project CLI class lib. How we can check this? We go inside this folder where is this project, and we are going to open it with Notepad. And here you go. It was added these three code lines, and as you can see, here is the reference to CLI class lib project. Yeah, you can check this here in Visual Studio also. Yeah, if you go here and expand the dependencies, here appears these projects. Expand, and you can see the link to this project. Yeah, in this project CLI demo app, or you can open here also the project file, and here is the reference to the project, to the CLI class lib project. So in this way we can reference a project, we can create a relationship between the projects. Also we can add nugget packages as well to our projects. How we can do that? So first of all, we have to be located in the folder where we want to add the NuGet packages. Yeah, so I want to add NuGet package to CLI demo app project. So that means I need to be inside this folder. Yeah, therefore I'm going to type .NET in order to add a NuGet package. Add package, for example, Dapper. If I don't write the version, it will be added the latest version of Dapper. Enter. Here you go. So the Dapper NuGet package was added. How you can check this? You can check here without any problem using a notepad. As you can see, here are the code lines which added this NuGet package called Dapper, or you can check this here as well. Yeah, this is a project where I added Dapper. It will appear packages expanded, and here you can see the Dapper package was added. Yeah, so you can see it's very fast to work with the CLI. Yeah, to add packages, to add references, so much faster than Visual Studio. Now the next is to run the project, the main project or the start project. For me, the start project is CLI demo app. Okay, so let me to show you something. If we go one level up, typing CD double dots, that will make the cursor to go one level up, and now the cursor is inside this folder, CLI application demo. Yeah, and let's type .NET run. Here you go. We have a error, and you just write the error, and here is written couldn't find a project to run. Yeah, because actually we are located inside the folder where we have the solution file. So the compiler using the CLI tool is not able to see the project file to run it. Yeah, therefore you have to be inside the project where you want to run the project from. So therefore we have to go inside this folder. Yeah, typing cd command, and after the name of the folder, CLI demo app. Yeah, something is wrong here. Yeah, I type it to O. So obviously the folder doesn't exist. Let's type it again. CLI demo app. Here you go. Now the cursor is inside this folder, CLI demo app, which contains the file project, as you can see. Now you just type .NET run. And here you go. Here is the output, hello world, which actually is the content of this file. Yeah, hello world. But we need to build first this solution, and we can build it from here, from this folder. Doesn't matter. And we to build a solution, we type .NET and the build command, and here you go. As you can see, 0 warnings and 0 errors. And finally, we can publish. We can publish our project using this command, .NET publish -p : and I'm going to use this property actually this CLI tool, we will use MS build to publish this project, and I'm going to use this property, publish single file. We go through, yeah, because this will make here to reduce the number of the files. Yeah, there will be left 3 files, only 3 files. So we don't need all these files actually. So that's why I use this option here, publish single file true. Okay, it should work. Enter. Yeah, as you can see, the project was published. We have here this folder publish for deployment. So this was my lecture regard to CLI tool. Hopefully you do like the lecture, and see you to the next lecture. Bye bye.